It's not always a bad thing to decide to put off doing a piece of work. Sometimes we need to wait before beginning a project. Maybe we have to wait until other tasks have been cleared out of the way first. If the project or task requires creative thinking, then the unconscious mind may need time to develop ideas, and forcing it will only slow matters down. However, when the only thing preventing us getting started is ourselves, and our lives are made less efficient, organized, and successful than they could be, then procrastination works against our own best interests. Most people have procrastinated at some point. That is, they put off doing what they know they should really get on with. And some people can spend hours, days, or weeks avoiding getting on with a task that might only take a few hours to do if they just got on with it. The pattern of procrastination goes something like this. Firstly, of course, you know there's something you need to do, whether that's writing a report for next week, or filling in a tax form, or preparing a speech, or whatever it is. Secondly, you have the good intention of starting because you know you really should, but then you get a subtle inner feeling of resistance. Maybe it's a feeling of anxiety about the task because it feels too overwhelming and you don't know where to begin. Perhaps you really want to do a good job at something, and you're scared of not being able to do it well enough, so you don't dare begin. It could be a feeling of sulkiness or rebelliousness because the task you've got to do feels boring or difficult when you think about it, and you don't see why you should have to do it right now. So the task gets put off as a vague, non-specific future event, something you'll get around to eventually. And in the meanwhile, the old displacement activities kick in, and somehow daytime TV becomes the priority, or a phone call to a friend, or another cup of coffee and a snack. Often at this point in the cycle, we justify our actions by kidding ourselves there are good reasons for these other activities. In the third phase, the pressure builds. The deadline approaches, or disappointment, disgust, or impatience with ourselves begins to build, or perhaps the boss or some other outside influence starts to put the pressure on. With many tasks, there comes a point when it becomes more painful not to begin the task than to put it off again. Maybe it has to be handed in tomorrow, or if the returns aren't sent this very night, the tax office will fine you, or whatever. The job now just has to be done. Fourthly, there's the actual doing of the job itself. It often turns out to be far easier and quicker than all that initial messing around avoiding getting started might have indicated. And when the job is done at last, the final step in the procrastination cycle might be relief at having completed the task, perhaps tinged with a little regret that you didn't just do it in the first place without giving yourself all that grief. This session is going to help you break free from that old procrastination habit for good by guiding your unconscious mind to release that inner sense of resistance, which is at the core of all procrastination. Rather than making each day a struggle and endlessly battling with yourself about getting things done, you'll find that the more you listen to this session, the more you'll notice that you're just calmly, efficiently getting on with things, and that life's becoming much easier, more productive, and more fulfilling as a consequence.